Welcome, everyone. I'm going to call the special meeting of the City Council and Authorities concurrent meeting to order. Roll call, Assistant City Clerk.
Councilmember Watanabe. Here. Councilmember Shahal.
Present.
Councilmember Hardy.
Present.
Councilmember Park.
Here.
Vice Mayor Jane.
Here.
Councilmember Becker.
Here.
Mayor Gilmore.
Here. Thank you. So we have one item for closed session. Is there any member of the public that would like to speak on our closed session item? Do you see any, Assistant City Clerk?
There are no hands, Mayor, and there's no written comment.
No written comments? All right, we'll be adjourning to closed session, and we will be back at 5:30 for our special council meeting for the Senior Advisory Committee appointments and the Parks and Recreation Commission appointment. Thank you. Welcome, everyone. I'm going to call the special city council meeting to order. Could you please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and remain standing for our statement of values? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, for liberty and justice for all.
As we gather, we humbly seek blessings upon this meeting. May we act with strength, courage, and will to perform our obligations and duties to our people with justice to all. Let us seek wisdom so we may act in the best interest of our people, our neighbors, and our country. All this we ask so we may serve our community with fairness and respect, putting their needs before all.
Thank you. Please be seated.
Madam Mayor, may I read the Statement of Behavioral Standards?
Yes, please.
The City of Santa Clara has adopted a code of ethics and values and behavioral standards for public meetings to promote and maintain the highest levels of conduct. This includes mutual respect, robust discussion, and allowing city business to be done in an efficient and consistent manner. Please note that as the presiding officer, the mayor's direction in matters of process and decorum should be followed, and that use of the gavel indicates all conversations must conclude, and everyone in attendance should come to order and attention. Welcome and thank you for your participation.
All right, thank you. Good afternoon, evening. Is it evening yet? Getting close to evening. And welcome, everyone. For today's meeting, the City Council is back in person and is conducting its meeting in a hybrid manner. The public is welcome to attend in person, and the city continues to use a Zoom feature to allow participation from the safety of your home or office. Members of the public can still join via the link and/or call into the Zoom meeting phone number shown on the screen now. If you would like to speak on an agenda item or during public presentations, please raise your hand on the Zoom application or press *9 on your phone. Please only raise your hand while the item you're seeking to speak on is being presented. Staff will enter your name or the last 4 digits of your phone number, and I will call on you to speak. As a friendly reminder, members of the public have 2 minutes to speak on an agenda item and 3 minutes on public presentations, and those are reserved for topics not on the agenda. Prior to each agenda item, staff will lower your hand to ensure members of the public are seeking to speak on the appropriate agenda item. You may also submit your comments on the e-comment feature on the Santa Clara Legistar page or via public comment at santaclaraca.gov, and the comments received during the meeting will be read into the record. So now let's move on to the council agenda. So we have reports of action taken in closed session, and we have no actions to report from closed session. Next, we have public presentations, and this is for items that are not on the agenda this evening. Assistant City Clerk, do we have any public presentations?
I see no hands and I have no written
And there's no public presentations here in the council chamber either. Okay, so this moves us on to our interviews. Tonight we have interviews and actions on appointment to fill one partial term ending June 30th, 2025, and one full term ending June 30th, 2026 on the Senior Advisory Commission. So we're going to start with that. City Clerk?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Yes, as you just stated, the council will be filling 2 terms, one partial, one full, and we have candidates already on Zoom. We will have 2 participating in person this evening, and they've all been notified that they will have 3 minutes to do an introduction of themselves, and we'll then have 1 minute to do closing remarks. And with that, Madam Mayor, I believe we may begin.
Yes, please. You can call our first applicant.
Our first applicant is Rick Andrews.
And Rick will be joining us via Zoom?
Yes.
Wonderful.
And he is on.
Hello, Rick. Do we have you on? You're muted, Rick. You just need to unmute yourself, Rick.
Got it. There it is.
Oh, there it is.
Hello, Madam Mayor.
Hello.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can. Welcome.
I apologize.
No problem. No problem. So welcome, Rick. We thank you for applying for the Senior Advisory Commission. They're very, very active commission. So why don't you have up to 3 minutes to tell us about yourself, and then we have some questions for you. So whenever you're ready.
Sure. So I don't have 3 minutes to introduce myself. My name is Rick Andrews. I've lived in the city of Santa Clara for 28 years in North Santa Clara. I work for Valley Medical Center, so I'm a working senior. I have 24 years at Valley Medical Center. I'm looking to help the community. I've spent most of my time here in North Santa Clara in my community working as a board member of our homeowners association. So I'm just looking to expand my horizons and help more of our community. That's really all I have.
Okay, well, thank you for that and for being a long-term Santa Claran. All right, so we have some questions for you, Rick, and I know that you were provided the questions ahead of time. So we're going to start with Councilmember Becker.
Hi there, Rick. Thank you for applying. So my first question for you is, what is your favorite program at the Senior Center and why?
So being a working senior, and the Senior Center is only open from 7 to 3. It used to be open 7 to 5. So my wife and I would attend the fitness center a lot. So I have to say that our favorite thing there is the fitness center. Though we can't go now because of our working and it closes. I'm hoping that the Senior Center will open longer later so that we can go back to attending there. So that's what I got.
Thank you.
Hi, Rick. Have you ever participated in the Health and Wellness Fair? And if so, what thoughts might you have on improving the event? That's the Health and Wellness Fair, right up your alley.
It is right up my alley, and I've attended a lot of them for Santa Clara County and Valley Medical Center, but I have not attended one for the city of Santa Clara or the seniors, only because of the times that it's like, I think the next one you have is on May 20th and it's from 10 to 2. That's the middle of the day for me. So that's a little bit hard, but yeah, no, I've never actually been to one.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Rick. Can you think of one service for seniors that Santa Clara should be providing that is not already?
That's a good question. I think we have to look at including as we become a more diverse city. I mean, just where I live, we've become more diverse in my community and have looked to include the seniors or the folks that live here as they move in. I really can't think of anything the senior center has today that it needs. I'm sure there is, but there's nothing, and I apologize for that. There is nothing that comes to mind right now.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Hi, Rick. It's Lisa Gilmore again. What can you do to encourage more diversity for seniors and senior activities? And I know you mentioned it in your earlier answer. But what can you do to encourage more diversity for seniors?
I think we have to get out into the community itself and look for those seniors that are maybe, in the populations that are afraid to come out, the AAPI communities and some of the other communities that aren't, they're afraid to come out, and we need to be in the community more. Maybe have some things on the north side up here where it's a really diverse area, in the northern library, in the library, or something that gets them out of the house. That's probably the best.
Thank you. Very good. Thank you for that. Rick, those are the only questions we have. So if you'd like to give us a up to 1 minute closing statement, we'd be happy to hear your final comments.
I look forward to hopefully getting the opportunity to serve the city of Santa Clara in this capacity. I can really bring a lot to having been a long-term a long-term resident of Santa Clara, and I've lived here my entire life. So I understand the city and I understand the valley. So I just hope for the opportunity. That's all. Thank you. I appreciate the time.
Thank you, Rick. Thank you for applying. After all of our interviews for the Senior Commission, we're going to be making a decision. So if you want to hang in there for a little bit. Otherwise, our city clerk's office will contact you tomorrow with the results. But thank you for applying.
Yep. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so next, our next applicant, Assistant City Clerk.
Okay, Madam Mayor, we have with us in person Edmund Drozek.
Oh, hi, Edmund. Thank you for joining us in person. It's nice to see people here in the council chambers. Welcome. Do we have that microphone working? We want to make sure we can hear every word you say, so we're just going to double check on that. Okay, it's working. So welcome and thank you for applying to the Senior Advisory Commission. So this is your opportunity, Edmund, to tell us about yourself. You have up to 3 minutes to tell us why you applied for the commission and whatever other information you'd like to share with us.
Okay, well, I've been a resident about 8 years. My wife and I, prior to that in San Jose. And before COVID came along, I was active in using the senior center, mostly the gym there to try to stay fit. And it would be good to, if some of those facilities could be fully activated, because I noticed in one of the discussion points, you were looking for suggestions on how to get more community participation. And I can see right now that it's somewhat underused. You have like 10, 12 treadmills there, but they're only about half of them being used. The weight machines, I don't have to wait very long for my turn. So that's good for me, but actually, I think it would be good if more people could be able to take advantage of that. My wife, for example, before COVID, was very active in the ceramics area. And we have some very beautiful items that she made sitting in our case at home. So she's very proud of her efforts there, and she would like to continue that, as would some of her friends who are active in the ceramics group there. So I hope that you're able to fund and find a person to run that operation there. I was hoping to do some laps, but I checked with the front desk, and they said, well, we're sorry, we haven't been able to find a lifeguard. So that's a bit disappointing. Hopefully there's some qualified people in the county that could do that. I'm now retired, so I have time to participate in helping the community. My role in the industrial world was always working on multifunction groups, where you had representatives from engineering, marketing, public relations, whatever. So I'm used to dealing with people from different capabilities and facilities. So I feel I would be easy to fit in to any kind of discussion about issues that would come up that need to be resolved. And I look forward, if selected, to play a role in this community now that I have more time. And I'm a bit winded because I couldn't find your office at first. I walked around a bit. I guess that's part of my daily workout now.
Your steps, you got your steps in, yes.
So, but you had some questions for me too. So.
Yes, we do. Thank you, and thank you for your observations about the senior center. Those are quite on point. So we do have questions, and I'm going to start with Councilmember Chahal.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Ed. Thank you for applying, and thank you giving us the input about the senior center. My question is pertaining to the same thing. What is your favorite program at senior center and why? I know you touched several, but which one is the favorite one?
A couple of years ago, you had this health fair outside, and I know there's one this Friday, which I plan to attend. And I'm even going to ride my bicycle there because I read the description today online. And I would like to just share my enthusiasm for riding a bike. In fact, my bike is an adult trike, which has 3 wheels, but it sits kind of low to the ground. And I think this is a really suitable means of transportation for seniors because although I don't have a balance problem, I know my wife does, and so she actually uses the trike too because she can get around. It's easy to pedal. It has 20 speeds. And she's not afraid of tipping over. So I'm definitely going to bring that to the fair, so I hope I can generate some interest in three-wheeled adult vehicles. Is there more that you would like to know on that topic?
That's a good input, and I think it's a good input for the staff to look into going forward. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for applying, Edmund. Actually, the next question has to do with the health and wellness fair. So you've kind of jumped the gun here, but that was a great answer. But maybe have something extra to add. Have you participated in the health and wellness fair, and if so, what thoughts might you have on improving the event?
So it's been a few years since you've had one. So if I look back to that, it was fairly varied. I mean, there were different groups represented, and hopefully the barbecue is going to attract more people. And then by being there, they will learn something from the vendors that are there. So if you ask me that question a week from now, I will have been to the most recent one. I may be able to give a more cogent and useful answer to you.
Councilmember Park?
Yeah, thank you, Edmund. And you've named a number of services that you think we could add, including even bike club, perhaps, or trikes. But can you think of one service for seniors that Santa Clara should be providing that it is not already?
Maybe bicycle.
Besides the ones that you mentioned.
Bicycle races.
Yeah.
In one of the parks that seniors could participate in, and there'd be some kind of award to get them there. I don't know if the city can afford to buy recumbent bicycles, although, you know, that might be a lure to get someone to participate. Maybe that's a long shot. But I know there's also a concern with drawing more people into, maybe that's another question, to be participating in what's available for seniors. And I think it would be good to reach out to various community groups like church groups, retirement homes, have someone go there and do a presentation, explain in person what the benefits are, what facilities are available. Because you can send brochures all the time and emails, but having somebody in there going to one of these sites in person, explaining the benefits and that there's transportation if they don't have transportation, whatever you could do to get more of the minority communities and other communities that have not yet learned of the great facility that's there, get the word out. I think you'd find a lot more participants. I'd love to see the gym filled, even though I'd have to wait a little longer for my turn at the machine.
Yeah, and as a pretty long-term YMCA member, I love those kinds of open houses and basically facility training days. So I think that's a great answer. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Okay, so your next question is, what can you do to encourage more diversity for seniors in senior activities?
So to kind of answer that, I mean, I'd be willing myself to go around to some of these sites as a member of that committee. I mean, I think that would be one of the roles and responsibilities. It's not just to sit and discuss things with your colleagues, but to get out in the community and actually promote the senior center and the other activities.
Okay, thank you, Edmund. Those are some great answers here. And so now you have a minute to leave us with any thoughts or comments that you would like to have us remember you by for this evening.
I'm delighted to be here. I haven't had the opportunity to be at City Hall before. It's a very nice environment. I mean, I think I've seen it on maybe a YouTube or online some time ago, but it's nice to be here in person to see who the council is here, and I look forward to playing some role in the community, now that I have more time on my hands. So I appreciate this opportunity to talk to you. And if not this position, perhaps in the future some other position would come open that I could contribute to the city.
Thank you so much for your interview, and now you know exactly how to get here. So
Yes.
we're open every Tuesday, pretty much. So you're always welcome back. We'll be making our decision right after the last interview. We have 2 more applicants to interview, so you're welcome to stay. If you are not able to stay, our city clerk's office will notify you tomorrow of the...
Hang around for a little while.
There's a lot of seats here, so you can pick any seat you like.
Am I allowed to stay here then?
Yes, you are allowed to stay here, absolutely.
Thank you.
So thank you, Edmund. Okay, next, Assistant City Clerk, are we
Yes, we're on schedule.
slightly ahead of schedule?
Our next applicant is Tom Freitas, and he is online, and we'll promote him to panelist right now.
Okay,
And if he'd like to turn his video on, that would be great.
Oh, yeah. 20 panelists, stay attendee.
we hear you, Tom.
Yeah, you got me?
We
All
hear
right,
you. I don't see
as
you,
far
but
as-
we hear you.
All right, join as a participant.
Okay, you're muted now.
All right.
Oh, there you go.
Unmuted,
Now you're
and
unmuted.
there you go.
Oh, perfect. We can see you and hear you. Welcome, Tom. Welcome to the to interview for the Senior Advisory Commission. So you have up to 3 minutes to tell us about yourself and why you applied for this commission, and then we have some questions for you. So whenever you're ready, Tom.
Well, very good. I can't tell you how much I appreciate the opportunity to speak with you all. The City Center has been a very big part of my life, and I believe that I'm fully qualified in lots of ways since I've contributed to the Senior Center for a long time. But first of all, let me introduce myself again. And I'll be reading a lot of this, so I just want to stay on point. And good evening, Mayor and Honorable Mayor Gilmore, members of the City Council. Thank you very much for the opportunity to speak out here. My name is Tom Freitas. I've been a resident for Santa Clara for the past 46 years. I would like to begin a bit and tell you a little bit about my history and why I would like to be and have the opportunity to work with the members of the Santa Clara Advisory Committee. My work history should begin around 1968. I received an honorable discharge excuse me, from the USMC, that's United States Marine Corps. 1968, I began my dream career as an aviator. After completing my licensing and certification, I began with flight instruction and management of flight schools throughout the Bay Area. I developed many flight training programs. In 1985 through 1992, I worked for as a corporate pilot for the Hewlett-Packard Company, one of my proud moments. In 1993 through 2005, I worked as a captain for a company called Air Transport International, working from the San Jose Airport. In 2005, I retired at the age of 60, a young age, I must say, looking back at it. I had the time to get to know our community after this, and I took the opportunity, and I was very attracted to the Senior Center and its grand opening. My intent at the time was to get to know our senior community. I volunteered for every opening opportunity that was available and helped wherever I was needed. I worked closely with staff. I had numerous duties throughout the Senior Center. I've done janitorial work, room rentals, maintenance, repaired, including painting of all rooms, including the upstairs we call the mezzanine. Several offices I built and refurbished, providing tabletops and working stations. I'm familiar with many of the activities within the Senior Center. I became involved with the Santa Clara Men's League. We called, and it was soon I became the chairperson at the time. We could Should I stop or continue?
Yeah, I think maybe you can finish in answering some of the questions as well, Tom. I know you have a lot of information, so we're going to start with our questioning, and then we'll give you a chance at the end to give us a minute closing as well. So go ahead.
Hi, Tom. It's Karen Hardy. What is your
Hello,
favorite?
Karen.
It's good to see you. What is your favorite favorite? This is may be hard for you. What is your favorite program at the senior center and why? You're laughing.
This is a softball question. My favorite program was the wood shop. I conducted safety classes and helped newbies develop their woodworking skills. It was my pleasure to do that. The shop participants developed their confidence in the use of the tools that we provided for them. The wood shop provided comfortable, safe environment to help our participants, and we all provided the mask for them. We gave them the HEPA filter that was provided by the city of Santa Clara. We gave them a safe working and environment. We had classes on recommending safety procedures and policies. We encourage all persons with little or no experience to join, women and men alike. This is part of the diversity issue that I want to emphasize here. English speaking was not an issue. We had them come in no matter what, we got involved with them. We even catered to the handicapped. We had wheelchairs access. It was very important for me to include that. The wood shop built many of the projects for the senior center. We had desks that we provided for them, bookshelves we made for the city library, podiums that we made for our mayor to speak from. The shop also repaired and refurbished items as needed for the citizens of our community. The wood shop had hundreds of handmade tools that we donated to children's service groups. At the annual holiday craft fair that we had at the senior center, we also sold a lot of the handcrafted items that we provided, and we donated that money back to the senior center. So we were very inclusive, and I would like to see that continue. Any other questions?
Yeah, we have a couple more for you, Tom.
I'll say thank you, Tom, and I still remember the tour you gave me. So if you would have said anything other than wood shop, I would have been disappointed. Thank you.
That's true. Any other questions?
Yes, we do.
Yes,
Go on.
thank you, Tom. This is Suds. Thank you for applying.
Well, that's my pleasure.
Have you participated in the Health and Wellness Fair? And if so, what thoughts might you have on improving the event?
Right. Yes, I've participated in the Health and Wellness Fair. I've helped set up as well as tear down. I represented the Santa Clara Wood Shop, and I also represented the Santa Clara Valley Bee Guild. You might be familiar with that. I still participate with that group. I would think that would be the only improvement. Mallory does a wonderful job, and Jennifer does a wonderful job, along with others, I'm sure. But the things I'm seeing that could be used is more tables and chairs, resting stations, provide outdoor activities. I'd like to see possibly maybe pickleball set up, or bocce ball on the side, or a ping pong table set up for activities to occur, and where people can gather and talk and discuss the items that they're viewing. That's it.
Thank you, Tom. It's Lisa again. Can you think of just one service, because you probably can think of a lot. Can you think of one service for seniors that Santa Clara should be providing that it is not already providing?
Yeah. Well, activities that encourage group participation is very important at the senior center. Arts and crafts, quilting, sewing, knitting, all these items bring people together in a good discussion point. I find they're so useful. Of course, a wood shop is a big part of that. That brought a lot of people together. But outdoor activities, I think I'd like to see Fremont Park be used more with the setup of bocce ball or ping pong or pickleball, whatever we need to get them out of the doors and to to gather as groups. That would be it. There's more than that, but I would recommend that.
Thank you. Thank you, Tom.
Yes. My pleasure.
Hi, Tom. This is Raj Chahal talking to you remotely. So
Nice to see you, Raj.
Yeah, thank you for applying and appreciate all the volunteer work you have done. Especially, I still remember when we were holding so many events for Sister City, you were there as a volunteer too.
Yes.
Okay. So my question is, I know you touched this in your wood volunteering work. What can you do to encourage more diversity for seniors and senior activities?
Right. This is something I tried to do many years ago, but I wanted to reach out to social groups, church groups in our community. To provide that group with the ability to and understanding what the senior center does. And I think it would be helpful to open conversations with the assisted living facilities in our community to seek out their input. To see how that we can contribute to their needs. I think it's most important to be inclusive, to overcome the isolations caused by COVID-19.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
My pleasure, sir.
Thank you, Tom. So that's it for the questions. If you'd like to leave us with an up to 1 minute closing statement, we'd be happy to hear it.
I would be happy to see it. My closing points would be, I am so pleased to be given the opportunity. I would be honored to be part of a very important team by working together with the staff of Santa Clara and assisting and providing a conduit for our senior citizens in our community. It's very important. The senior center is a very important part.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Tom. So you can hang in there with us on Zoom. We will be making a decision after our next interview. If you're not able to stay on with us, our city clerk's office will contact you tomorrow with the results. But we're going to,
I'll be here.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty soon. So thank you. Thank you for the interview.
Thank you.
Okay, Madam Mayor,
Assistant City Clerk.
the next applicant is Vina Sterling, and she's being moved over to the panelist side.
Okay. I see Vina, but I don't, okay, she's muted.
Vina, you're muted, and you can turn your camera on if you'd like.
Can you hear me now?
Oh, we can. Yes, we can.
Okay. Okay. So I don't have a lot of things to say about me. I'm Vina. I live in Santa Clara. I've lived in Santa Clara since 1985. I went to Mills College in Oakland. I work full time. I work for VMware in Palo Alto, and I am their senior RFP program manager, which is I respond to RFPs and proposals for VMware. I was born in India and have lived for considerable lengths of time in Germany, in Sweden, in Holland, in Taiwan. And I speak those respective languages as well as several languages from India. I feel that I've traveled around the world, extensively traveled around the world, and feel like I have a deep understanding of the various cultures that inhabit our city. So I'm an avid gardener. I've lived here since before Apple came to town. I just became a grandmother. My daughter just adopted a child. I have two children, a son who lives in San Francisco and a daughter who lives in Long Beach. That's all I have to say about me.
Thank you.
I also actually volunteer with Stanford students who are writing grant applications and sometimes want me to look over their application process and applications itself.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Vina. Thank you for applying for the commission. So
Yes.
we have some questions for you.
Okay.
We're going to start now.
Okay.
Okay.
Welcome, Vina. Thank you for applying. The first question has to do with what is your favorite program at the senior center and why, but I think I know it takes precedence right now. Congratulations on becoming a grandmother.
Thank you. Yeah, so I have, I really like the senior center. I have visited it often, but basically what I did over there was I used the swimming pool. And when I was in the swimming pool, I used to swim a mile with a girlfriend. And when I used the swimming pool, there was a woman who would be in the walking swimming pool that had classes for senior citizens in the pool. That for me was very good because there were a lot of seniors who have arthritis or ailments where they were unable to even walk properly, but they were able to exercise in the pool. For me, that was absolutely fabulous. And I'm one of my hobbies is I'm a potter. I've been a potter for years. Since when I first came here, I took a class in pottery at De Anza College. And so I like that the senior center, although I have not availed myself of their pottery, their kiln or their room, but I like that if I wanted to go back into it, I have access to a kiln.
Okay, next.
Thank you, Vina. Have you participated in the Health and Wellness Fair? And if so,
I have not.
Okay.
I have not
Right.
participated, but I have talked about it extensively to a friend of mine who I know. I'm not going to mention her because she's on your council. And I'm going to go with her on the 20th of May to the Health and Wellness, because I wasn't even aware of it till she told me about it. This is even before I applied to this position. She told me about the Health and Wellness fair that happens at the senior center.
Yeah, but I would think that you would have a lot of experience with fairs like this. What thoughts might you have on improving or adding to such an event?
So my feeling, the reason I got interested in this whole thing was because a very dear friend of ours, he was very capable driving, coming to my house every Tuesday. Since the pandemic, we called it Tuesdays with Bob because he's single, he's never been married, doesn't have family. His brother lives in Pennsylvania. And so he had a fall in his home, was taken to the hospital, got COVID in the hospital. He stayed there for 10 days. He was in isolation. And I'm sorry, I'm getting a little bit, he was in isolation, but he lost a lot of his muscle memory. He is now alone at home and has 24-hour care because he's very, very scared to walk since he fell down. And for me, I feel that as I started to look at a lot of my friends, our friends, my husband and mine, people who have chosen not to have children for, umpteen reasons, are now alone. And when one spouse dies and the other one is left alone, it becomes a very difficult process. And so for me, having a social connection to people it has become paramount. I've always been a very social person. My husband's not. And so it's been something that I feel that there are so many people who are alone here, and this pandemic has just brought it all to the forefront.
Understood.
So I
think
would
that-
think that having some sort of a, for me right now, the most important thing for senior citizens is having some sort of way for them to get from one place to another. The way I look at things is I would not ask my children to help me, help drive me somewhere if I couldn't drive. I would not, because I would not want to put them out. And so asking a neighbor is even worse. If I don't ask my children, I'm not going to ask my neighbor to do that. And so I think that having some sort of transportation for seniors to get to one place to another is paramount right now.
Okay, thank you. Next question.
Thank you, Vina. Thank you for applying. So my question for you is, can you think of one service that for seniors that Santa Clara should be providing that is not already?
So I don't know whether, I looked at your website and it indicated that you do have, for tax preparation for senior citizens, you recommend tax people who would do taxes for them. But I don't know if a lot of the senior citizens are aware of the fact that the Santa Clara Library, for instance, two of my friends, they volunteer there to do tax preps for people. You don't have to be a senior, you can be anybody, and they'll do your taxes for you. The library coaches you, the library sends you for training to do the taxes. And these are senior citizens who are helping other people do taxes. And I know, again, from Bob, he wasn't able to do his taxes because he fell down in February, and he says he's afraid to even think about doing his taxes. And so I think tax time is very taxing for seniors, and that's not a pun on words. I feel that we all have to pay taxes, and then when you don't have someone helping you with those sort of things, I feel it just becomes a severe burden. It's not a hard thing to do but it's burdensome when you think you have to do it alone. So for me, that would be very, very big. It's just to tell them that there is such a feature being offered by the Santa Clara Library.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
I don't know, was I?
Wait, we have one more
We
question.
have one more question. This is
Okay.
Karen Hardy. You mentioned all the different places you've lived. What can you do to encourage more diversity for seniors and senior activities?
So I thought about that question a little bit, and I feel that learning new activities is always immense for people. My mother-in-law is 104 years old. She was driving till she was 101. She lives in the Bronx at the Hebrew Health Center. She's in independent living. And, they have people from the New York Times come and give them talks. They have movies that they show at the senior center, this is. They have chair yoga. They have, and all this is funded they have someone who's a volunteer who helps them write grants so that all these things get funded for the senior citizens. So it's not coming as an additional add-on from the city or from whatever. And so for me, I feel like, even teaching senior citizens Microsoft Word, which is ubiquitous in our lives, but a lot of them don't know how to use Word, and just teaching them Word or gives them access to a piece of software that maybe they can pen their thoughts. They could become writers as they get older. They could become, starting a book club. I think most people read, and so they have lots and lots of time to listen to audio tapes or, and then maybe start a little book club among seniors. I think those are all big pluses.
Okay, thank you, Vina, so much for your answers to the questions. Now's the time for you to give us up to a 1-minute closing statement. So whatever information you'd like to leave us with, we'll be happy to hear it. So when you're ready.
Okay, so what I think I would bring to the commission is perhaps the fact that I'm able to connect with people from diverse backgrounds. When I walk down the streets in Santa Clara, or I'm running in the park, the people that I meet are parents of young Chinese or Indians, and they do not speak English. But I often stop and speak to them because I speak Mandarin. I speak several Indian languages fluently. And so those kinds of things, I think, help. It endears you to them when you speak to them in their language, I think, one of the things. And so I feel that with a city as diverse as ours, being able to connect to people in different ways is very helpful.
Thank you so much, Veena. Thank you for your presentation. Very good. Now, Assistant City Clerk, we are going to proceed with our voting selections, and we have 4 applicants. So what is you want to explain our process for the 4 applicants?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. So real quickly, the recommendation is to appoint 1 to a partial term ending in 2025 and 1 to a full term, 2026. And in addition, if you'd like to place someone on an eligibility list, you have that as well. With that being said, our guideline says when you have 4 or less, you can pick 1, but in this event, we have 2 seats. So if you'd like to pick 2 of your top favorite, and then the highest vote getter would get the, I believe you said the partial
No, so
term?
the longer term is the partial term. So
Correct.
you finish someone's term, and then you're eligible for 2 more terms after that. So that would be the highest vote getter would get the partial term.
Okay.
And then the second vote getter would get the full term. And then if we'd like to do we normally put just 1 or 2 on eligible? We can do whatever we want. We could put
at the
1 or
council's
both
discretion.
on the eligibility list. And that is if somebody,
In the event of resignation.
in the
or
event of a
vacancy comes up.
resignation, and do we had a timeline, was it 6 months? 6 months, that the eligibility list would then come into play.
So if you chose to place just 1 person, you would then either allow us to appoint and follow up with that person at that
Follow
time.
up with an appointment for that one.
If you put 2 people, you've brought
Maybe
them
have
back.
another interview?
Yes.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions on that process that we've used in the past? And it's been pretty successful. So now you're asking us to pick 2. This is going to be really hard. All the applicants are so good. To pick 2 applicants and to move ahead.
Yeah, so
Okay.
I'll just go down the line and ask for you to cast your vote. And I've got my little piece of paper here to
Okay.
keep track of that, my tally. So Councilmember Becker, would you like to cast your vote for the top 2?
For top 2, first will be Mr. Freitas, Tom Freitas, and second will be Edmund, let me say his last name again, Prozek? Drozek, sorry about that. Let's do Edmund Drozek. And then for my runner-up for the list, do we have to say
No,
that?
you just.
No, just
Okay,
2.
just 2, thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Hardy.
Well, I hope he wasn't reading my notes. It's Tom Freitas and Edward Drozek. If I said it right, sorry.
It's Edmund.
Edward.
Edmund Drozek.
Oh, is it Edmund? Did I write it down wrong? Shame on me.
Vice Mayor Jane.
It's the same for me, Tom Freitas and Edmund.
Thank you.
What is Edmund?
Madam Mayor.
Yes, Tom Freitas and Edmund.
Thank you. Councilmember Shahal.
Tom Freitas and Edmund Rozak. It's coming up as a unanimous as so far.
Councilmember Watanabe.
Thank you. Tom Freitas and Rick Andrews, please.
Councilmember Park.
I'll pick Tom and Veena.
Okay, so the highest vote getter was Tom Freitas, and Edmund Drozek is the second highest vote getter.
Okay, so let's start with those 2. May I have a motion for, to
give me
appoint
just a-
Tom
Make a motion.
Freitas? Oh, wait, I'm
Give me a
sorry.
moment just to type this in and then,
Oh, yes, I just want to say for Tom Freitas for the for the partial term and Edmund for the full term.
I'll motion that.
Second.
Again, we had so many great applicants that maybe want to consider putting the other both on the eligibility list. They both got one vote. Yeah. They were both excellent.
Okay. Start your vote. Councilmember Shahal, please cast your vote.
Yes.
Councilmember Park?
And yes.
Thank you. And Mayor?
Do we have it? Let's see.
Not working?
Mine's not allowing me to vote,
Do you want
so
to just verbally?
yes.
Okay, thank you. And that's unanimous.
And that passes unanimously for that. Do we have a motion for the other two, since they each got one vote on the eligibility list, so that if we do have another appointment to make, we would just call those two back for in the next 6 months only?
I'd like to make a motion for the eligibility list.
For Vina and,
Yes, let's
second that.
let's put both on the eligibility list.
I'll second that.
To return to,
so both Vina and Rick Andrews on the eligibility list.
Madam Mayor, I had my hand up.
I can't see it, so
that,
go ahead.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, wait, City Clerk, what did you
maker
say?
of the motion was,
Was Anthony Becker, followed by second by Karen Hart. Was it Kevin, Councilmember Park?
Raj.
Okay, go ahead, Vice Mayor.
yes.
Oh, thank you. Okay, all right, so now I can, no, this is still wrong, Derek, I'm sorry. It's still wrong. Go ahead, Vice Mayor.
Yes, I just want to say I'm not a great fan of eligibility lists. I know we're trying to save council time by doing these eligibility lists, but I would prefer to open up the applications to everybody. There may be more people that would like to apply, and that we would just go through a whole round of interviews again. I understand.
Thank you. Yeah, it's only for 6 months. Councilmember Becker?
Curious question, kind of taking off from what Councilmember Jane was talking about. If you had an eligibility list and then he kind of the way he wanted to go, would you be able to have the two eligibility, the two of the people that we have on the eligibility list, as well as having an open process that he
Well,
wants?
then it's not an eligibility list if you have an open process. You can't have both.
Okay.
Assistant
Just
City
wanted
Clerk?
curious.
Yeah, that's what I was
Yeah,
going to say.
you
We would
can't
just
have both.
leave it as is and just open up a full recruitment.
And we had excellent applicants as well, so. All right, we have a motion and a second on the floor for the eligibility list for the two applicants, Vina Sterling and Rick Andrews.
Councilmember Shahal, please cast your vote.
Yes.
Councilmember Park?
Yes.
Okay, that passes 6-1. Thank you and congratulations. We have one of our commissioners here in the audience, so we can clap here, and to Tom and everyone who applied. Thank you so much. Since you're here, you drove all the way down here. I'm going to give you 30 seconds. Okay, well, now you can say it. Start again. Thank you.
Thank you for giving me this opportunity. And had I known foreign residency was an important factor, I've actually worked in Shanghai for 1 year, Cairo, Egypt for 6 months, and 9 months in Munich, Germany. among 6 months in India, but that was not working. That was exploring the country. So
Thank you.
I've traveled the world. Thank you.
We look forward to all your experience and you bringing that to our Senior Advisory Commission. It's a hard-working group, so
Forward to- sure I'll be contacted.
And Karen,
I'm sure I'll be
Thank you.
contacted with what to do
yes,
next.
so the
And
city
Karen
clerk's
and I-
office will contact you and let you know. The city clerk, would you like to tell him?
So my staff will contact you, and we'll schedule you to come in for an oath, to administer your oath of office, and we'll have a brief orientation as well.
Great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
and Karen and I look forward to your promoting biking.
And Madam Mayor,
Yes.
Mr. Freitas has his hand up.
Oh, yes, Tom, congratulations, Tom Freitas. Would you like to say something, Tom? Is he, I don't see him.
Unmute.
Okay.
All right, I
go
want to
ahead.
thank you all for the vote of confidence. Thank you very much, council members. Also, I want to thank, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, good. You know, I'm going to reach out to Deanna, and I'm sure she'll be a very powerful person to be on that committee. So that's what I want to see more of, is being able to communicate in like languages. It would help a lot. Thank you very much, City Council. Thank you, Mayor.
Congratulations. All
My
right.
pleasure.
All right, next we have the Parks and Recreation applicants. Are we on time for that?
We have our folks online.
And Derek, excuse me, Derek, this still is not correct. Thank you, sorry, everyone.
So real quick, what you have before you this evening is to fill 2 full terms, each ending June 30th, 2026. And with that, our first Zoom applicant is online. We'll get her over to panelists. That's Vanessa Arellanes, sorry.
Oh, Vanessa Arianes? Do I see her, but okay, you're muted, Vanessa. There you go. You're unmuted
Okay.
now.
Let me
Hello.
start Hi.
Welcome to
Thank
our
you.
Parks and Recreation interview. Thank you for applying for the commission. We would love to hear from you. You have up to 3 minutes to tell us about yourself and why you applied for the commission. And then we have some questions for you, which I believe you were provided ahead of time. So
Yes.
hopefully you were. So whenever you're ready, Vanessa, we'd like to hear about you.
Well, I am a single woman, and I recently moved to Santa Clara, so I'm a newbie here, and I absolutely love my new city. I haven't even been here a year yet, and so I thought that I would love to come and plug in and be a part of this wonderful city that I get to enjoy some of these parks that I live close by and walking, and I do love to paint myself, and I just like to go and read a book and have my coffee and sit on the bench. And I just thought, if I experience this and it's beautiful and wonderful, I would like to share how I can be a part of this and share my experience with others.
Okay, well, great. Thank you. So we do have some questions for you. We're going to start with Councilmember Becker. We'll just start all over again. And
Cool. Thank you very much.
down the
Thank you,
council.
Vanessa. Okay, so first question we have is, have you attended or helped out at any of the citywide events that were held before shelter-in-place orders? Which one and what did you do?
Unfortunately, I have not, because I did not live in Santa Clara, nor did I attend any of those events. However, I do look forward, with summer on our horizon, being able to be in the groups and definitely enjoy some of them, especially the farmers market, which is dear to me.
Great, perfect answer. And I think it was a little unfair I asked that one, but thank you again for being
That's
honest.
okay. That's okay.
Thank you.
Vanessa, this is Karen Hardy. The question is, what Parks and Rec programs have you participated in, or I should add for you, since you're new, would like to participate in, and in what capacity? What might you want to expand?
I do love the painting. I do love the gardens. I do love, well, to answer your question, I have not participated in any of those programs. But I just like to expand some of those programs, like the garden, the paintings, even like with swimming. I love to swim. Anything that can help create an atmosphere where your longevity, your strengthening, your well-being, mind, body, and soul is actually beneficial. And so I think there's with parks and recreation programs, there's a little bit of both. And so I would love to spend some more time learning more about them, and actually participating and see what would be really my niche. And one of the things that's dear to my heart is also learning about gardening. My mother, who recently passed in 2019, was an avid gardener, and she just enjoyed it. And so something that might be dear to my heart moving forward, and seeing how that can help impact not only myself, but others in a very positive, healthy way.
Thank you, Vanessa.
Thank you for applying, Vanessa. Well, that leads right into the very next question. Do you have any thoughts about community gardens in the city?
At this time, I don't, but I sure do love, I just started with a little pot of herbs in my little patio area. And I love the smell of walking by and smelling the fresh herbs. And so if I can just have 3 little pots in my patio and it just moves me to want to cook something, I think that expanding our gardens would be very beneficial for us that like to have organic foods, and maybe expand new cuisines with different types of ingredients.
Thank you. So Vanessa, do you believe Santa Clara needs more parks and open space? And overall, how well do you think Santa Clara does in implementing parks?
I believe we can never get too many parks and open space. For one, I used to actually work for open space, and that they handle over 32,000 of our walking trails. So I am familiar with that type of open space. And so to narrow it down with Santa Clara, I don't think that there's enough of open space and parks that we can always look to have for our city.
Okay, thank you, Vanessa. So now that's the end of our questioning. You have up to a minute for a closing statement. So whatever information you'd like to leave us with, we'll be happy to hear it. So whenever you're ready.
Well, I just want to say thank you, and to give honor to all of the council members that are there. And thank you for your time to hear someone that is just newly a resident of Santa Clara and just wants to do her part in making it a better place for everybody that decides to reside here, and just to be a great spokesperson for our parks and recreations. I know we have surrounding cities that have great ones, but because I'm a resident here, I'm a little more partial. And I just want to say thank you, and for considering me for the position.
All right, thanks, Vanessa. And so we'll be making a decision right after the interviews we have this evening. So you're welcome to stay on Zoom, or our city clerk's office can contact you tomorrow in the event you're not able to stay until the end of the interview session. But thank you so much for applying, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.
Okay.
Our next applicant is Maureen Riley Chu, and she is here in person, so we'll let
We
her
have an
come up to the
in-person
podium.
applicant. Welcome, Maureen.
Hello.
Hi, so you have up to 3 minutes to tell us about yourself and why you applied for this commission.
I'm Maureen Riley Chu. I've been a resident of Santa Clara in Rivermark for 18 years. I would really like the opportunity to serve on the commission because I enjoy our parks and rec so much, and I'd like to give back and really see what's coming in the future and take advantage of continuing our traditions that we have in the city. I'm a professional environmental engineer. I've been in the career for 20 years focusing on groundwater sustainability. I'm a mom of 2 girls, aged 13 and 11, and a dog mom as well. I was president of our PTO at our local school, Don Calajon, for 3 years. and I had experience running events for the 1,000 students and their families. I've been involved in our Rivermark neighborhood for a long time, running Easter egg hunts and weekly food truck picnics in our local park. I'm a Girl Scout troop leader. I have 2 troops, 7th grade and 5th grade. And we rent one of the local park facilities, Lick Mill Park. I have experienced grant writing in my professional career. I've written grants for the San Benito County Water District. And locally, I've won grants for our local school, the school district, a local farm, and a local theater company. My family has very much enjoyed the parks and programs over the years, and I think my skills of the volunteer experience, as well as my analytical thinking and decision-making, would be an asset to the commission. And thank you for the opportunity to be here today.
Thank you. Impressive. Thank you. Okay.
I'll go ahead, Mayor. Thank you. Thank you, Maureen. I appreciate you applying for it, and it was a pleasure to go through your volunteer-heavy application. So I know the answer, but I still will ask that to complete the process. Have you attended or helped our city at any of the citywide events that were held before shelter-in-place orders? Which one and what did you do?
I have a long list of the ones I've attended.
I know.
We've gone to the Art and Wine Festival many different years, and our participation has really changed as my girls have grown up. The early years were hanging out in the kids' kingdom, and as they got older, we were waiting for the dance performances on the stage and seeing the artists and craftsmen. And now we're looking forward to seeing our friends in the nonprofits selling the concessions. So it's really, we've seen it from multiple perspectives. We've attended the 4th of July picnic, the Easter egg hunt, the Arbor Day, tree lighting, parks opening, breakfast with Santa, and movies in the park. I've helped out at several citywide events, including the Parks and Rec production of the Nutcracker. We've been doing that for, I think, 9 years. I started out as dancer supervision in the back and worked my way up to the costume room. I'm also behind-the-scenes problem solver. Ulestac Natural Area Wildflower Day, my Girl Scout troop hosted a booth in 2019 to educate the public about monarch butterflies. While not Parks and Rec, I've helped out with Library Palooza, the fundraiser for our city friends and foundation of our city libraries. And I led the sponsorship committee, engaging corporate sponsors to supplement our fundraising efforts. I've also volunteered and helped out organize the Rivermark National Night Out, and that's one of the largest celebrations in Santa Clara.
Thank you very much, and I expected that. Thank you.
Thank you for applying, Maureen. I think you didn't mention the milkweed and with the butterflies as well. That's been a wonderful success out at Ulestac. So thank you for helping your girls and the troop on that project. What parks and recreation programs have you participated in, and what capacity? And finally, what program would you like to expand?
Well, my daughters have attended multiple classes at the CRC. I think we're there at least 2 to 3 times a week and have been for 10 years. They've been in dance classes, music, sports, art. We've done the summer camps. Like I said, we've rented the facility at the Lick Mill building for Girl Scout troop meetings, which has been fantastic. When my husband coached soccer, we played soccer at the Reed and Grant sports fields. We've attended so many junior theater plays. We've entered the chalk art contest, and I think we've been to all the parks, playgrounds, and most of the pools. I can't say enough good things about the dance programs at the CRC, Miss Kimberly's ballet, and Miss Linnea's program. The progressive nature of it is not just a one-off class, but a continuing community. The girls have grown up with Miss Kimberly and the girls in their cohort. And so I think we can expand that, or at least continue the tradition of having these tremendous dance programs as part of our recreation center. And I'd also like to see the rental of facilities expanded. I know our Girl Scout troop has really benefited from having a space in COVID because we couldn't use the school. And I think more people need to know that you can rent facilities and have these amazing resources.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Maureen.
Thank you, Maureen. Do you have any thoughts about community gardens in the city?
Yes, as an environmental engineer, I have a lot of thoughts about gardens. And I was very excited to get the email today about Eddie Souza Park having a demonstration garden for drought-tolerant planting and water conservation. Because I think that is so critical, that we can have beautiful gardens without water, a tremendous water use. I think having community plots that everyone gets a chance to grow their own plot, or at least visit and have the outdoor education classes, which I've been excited to see too. In addition, I think Ulestack counts as a garden. It's really cool to have native flora and fauna that the kids can experience. And I think more outdoor education in Ulestack, which I know is partnered with Parks and Rec, but not managed by. I think continued resources both at Ulestack and the community plots are tremendous for our outdoor education, for kids and adults. I think we all need more education.
Thank you for a very complete answer.
Thank you, Maureen, for applying. Do you believe Santa Clara needs more parks and open space? And overall, how well do you think Santa Clara does in implementing parks?
I think Santa Clara does a great job with its parks and programs, but of course we can always improve. As we redevelop new areas of the city, we should definitely include parks and open space as a central part of those plans. I'm very excited to see the changes in Central Park, to see the Magical Bridge Playground and more inclusive play areas for all needs. I think we can also expand the public interest, engage public for participation, and also more volunteering and resources that can be developed from the community. So overall, I think Santa Clara is doing a great job, and there's still room for improvement.
Thank you. Excellent answer.
Thank you, Maureen. So now's the time. You gave us a lot of information. Thank you. So you have up to a minute to leave us with any closing thoughts you'd like to leave us with.
I'm passionate about Santa Clara Parks and Rec, and I'm excited to continue the traditions that have gone on in our city. I'm excited to see the next phase as Central Park and other areas of the city are redeveloped. I'd love to see the department grow and engage more community support. And thank you for the opportunity to be here to interview for the commission.
Thank you, Maureen. So you're welcome to stay. If you are not able to stay, our city clerk's office will let you know the results of our voting tomorrow.
Great.
But again, you're welcome to stay because we want people to be here. We have lots of seats available. So thank you. Excellent interview.
Thank you very much.
Mayor and Council, our next applicant is on the line, Carl Kalaukalani, and we'll move him over to panelist. And Carl, if you'd like to turn on your camera, you can do so.
I don't see Carl. Are you there, Carl? Oh, there we go. Hi. Hi, Carl. Welcome. Thank you for applying for the Parks and Recreation Commission. So you have up to 3 minutes to tell us about yourself and why you applied for this commission, and then we have some questions for you. So whenever you're ready, Carl.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. My name is Carl Kalaukalani. I have been a resident of Santa Clara for over 40 years now, and I have recently decided to volunteer for the Parks and Rec Commission as a means of giving back to the community, which I really appreciate. My wife and I run a small educational nonprofit called Silicon Valley Seeds, where we focus on instructing folks about the great benefits to be realized through gardening organically, saving and stewarding seeds, and enjoying the added security of seeing to their own food sovereignty. So as you can imagine, I am very keen at seeing to more community gardens for Santa Clara. And we have worked closely with Derek over at the Eddie Souza Park, as well as the Benton Teaching Garden. And so we're familiar with some of the garden activities in our area. And a little bit more about me. I have worked in the past at the senior center, specifically at the snack bar, and I have enjoyed interacting with some of the people there, and I believe that the senior center is an awesome resource for our seniors. So I would be especially interested in seeing more involvement by our senior community. And I've also worked as a volunteer with Read Santa Clara, which is a program within the library that focuses on helping non-native English speakers get up to speed with, or fine tune their English usage, both written and reading. So that's a little bit about me, and I appreciate being considered for the Parks and Rec Commission. Thank you.
Thank you, Carl. So we have some questions for you, so we're going to get started. Go ahead.
Thank you, Carl. This is Karen Hardy, and your background makes me think we're in Hawaii, but we're still here in Santa Clara. Have you attended or helped out at any of the citywide events that were held before shelter in place, and which ones, and what did you do?
I have attended the Art and Wine Festival on multiple occasions, and really enjoyed being involved in that capacity. I have not done anything on the back end of those functions, but I have attended a number of them.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much, Carl. What parks and recreation programs have you participated in, and in what capacity? Which program would you like to expand?
Well, like I say, I am especially interested in seeing more educational opportunities as they relate to gardening and organic gardening and seed stewardship. That is something that both my wife and I have been involved in, very intensely.
Great, thank you very much.
Okay, so Carl, I have the question that you've answered a couple of times already. Do you have any thoughts about community gardens in the city? So you can think of a different way to answer that, Carl.
Absolutely. That's part of what I enjoy focusing on. Yes, and as you can tell, I was born and raised in Hawaii, so the land is a key component of who I am. So I just really enjoy that aspect of things.
Thank you.
Thank you for applying, Carl. Do you believe Santa Clara needs more parks and open space? And overall, how well do you think Santa Clara does in implementing parks?
I think Santa Clara in general has done an excellent job with their parks. The number of parks, the number of the variance of the park offerings, it's really, really well done. One of the things, like I keep on saying, that I would like to see is perhaps carving out more areas where people can do gardening type activities. But in general, I think that Santa Clara has done an excellent job with their parks.
Thank you very much.
Okay, Carl, thank you so much for your answers to the questions. Now you have an opportunity to give up to 1 minute closing statement on any information you'd like to leave us with this evening.
Well, I just really appreciate the opportunity to be a part of the Parks and Rec Commission, and I would very much look forward to being involved with some of the planning and some of those aspects to the task of having great parks and functions at those parks. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Thank you for your interview, and you're welcome to stay with us on Zoom. We'll be making a decision after our next 2 interviews. If you're not able to stay with us, our city clerk's office will contact you tomorrow with the results. But again, thank you for applying, Carl.
Thank you.
Okay, Mayor and Council, we have our next applicant on Zoom, Elisa Mirasan. We'll move her over to panelist right now.
Okay. I see you, Alyssa. There you are. And you're muted. You can unmute yourself. There you go. Thank you. Welcome. Welcome. Thank you for applying to the Parks and Recreation Commission. And so we're going to get started by giving you up to 3 minutes to tell us about yourself and why you applied for this commission. Whenever you're ready.
Thank you. Thank you so much, council members. And thank you, Ms. Nora, for helping me earlier with the Zoom link. I had a little snafu earlier, but I'm here. Anyhow, yes, my name is Elisa Mureshan. I have a PhD in finance. I used to work in Wall Street. I was a professor for several years at Long Island University in Brooklyn, New York. And then my husband moved to Seattle. I was in Seattle 5 years, didn't teach anybody anything apart from my kids because I homeschooled the kids. And then we moved to Napa. Basically, we moved every 5 years. We like to move it. And now we stay in Santa Clara. We've been staying in the old historic quadrangle of Santa Clara since January 2020, and I love it here. I'm going to retire here, and I would like to give back by joining the Parks and Recreation Commission.
Thank you so much for that, and welcome to Santa Clara.
Thank you.
Thank you for applying, Alyssa. The first question we have for you is, have you attended or helped out at any of the citywide events that were held before shelter-in-place orders? And which one, and what did you do?
Yes, ma'am. I have, when I homeschooled my kids were very small, and we attended all kinds of activities, just like Maureen earlier. We attended the Easter egg hunt. We attended the Fremont Park events on health, for example. And then we also attended the 2018 Inclusive Makerspace with our autistic neighborhood friend. And then we attended the Halloween parties in the Youth Activity Center near Cabrillo Middle School every year, 2017, 2018. We were not resident, but we just went. It's awesome. And we used the Santa Clara ice rink in the park. We did the Comic-Con and then the Santa Clara chalk art contest. And then end of 2020, not end, summer 2020, when the Santa Clara City had the competition for Thank the Heroes, our house won first. So yeah, it's awesome. Santa Clara is, yeah, I'm staying.
Love it. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you very much for applying, and thank you for your answers. I feel like you've already answered the next question, but I'm going to ask it. What parks and recreation programs have you participated in what capacity? And which program would you like to expand? I think that's the important question here.
Okay, thank you. I'm sorry. We basically so far, our family has been moving around, and then in 2020, my husband had a cardiac arrest, and so I haven't really been volunteering anywhere else. And so the only thing that I did for the city has been just promoting the program. So basically, when I got the email from Santa Clara saying that, hey, there is this remote, whatever, virtual event, virtual egg hunt, neighborhood night out, I would just spread the word. I have not really been actively participating, but I would like to. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lisa, for replying. Do you have any thoughts about community gardens in the city?
I love what Edizusa Garden has been doing. So especially I like the fact that every Wednesday, the garden has public tours for the community. No, I applied over there trying to get a bed, but my application has not been accepted. And I'm fine with it, you know. I still like the a community garden, and I'm taking my kids to get the free seats from the Edizusa. And also I am enthusiastic with the potential of, let me see my note, I put it down earlier, because we are going to have a new community garden, right? So yeah, I'm excited about that as well.
Thank you very much.
Lisa, this is Karen Hardy, and I have the last question for you. Do you believe Santa Clara needs more parks and open space overall? How well do you think Santa Clara does in implementing parks?
Santa Clara has been wonderful in managing the parks. It has a lot of activities for adults and for kids. However, if I was chosen as the commissioner, I would like to know more about I heard about the BMX park conflict between the PAL and the current organizer. I don't know if it is part of our business over here in the park recreation, but we're all bikers in our family and we love the BMX park. So I think we should take charge of it, and I think we should do something about it. And the second, I am excited that we are going to have the Gateway Crossing Community Park. I was participating as a survey, you know, I filled in the survey in order to give feedback of what I would like it to happen. I'm excited about that. It's in front of Costco, by the way. And then I agree with Maureen. I'm also excited about the Central Park improvement program. And if I were chosen as a commissioner, I would also like to suggest probably pickleball or bocce ball or outdoor facilities for our seniors, because I live close by the senior center over here, and the Fremont Park, even if it is in front of the senior center, it does not have any facilities for the seniors, in my opinion. It's more like for kids. I understand the seniors have grandkids, but there are seniors who do not have family as well. And so it probably would be nice. And then lastly, that I would like to do, perhaps have a treasure hunt for parks in our Santa Clara city to introduce more exploration, just like the Edizusa having that. Where is my note? The code, and so people can actually have a treasure hunt, and this was work together between the Edizusa Park and the Santa Clara University College of Engineering, so then public can get in there and then see the program, and then they can explore the park more, just to excite the public, really.
Thank you. And I love your enthusiasm. If we do a promotional commercial, we'll have to put you on it for Go Santa Clara.
Thank you. So, Elisa, now you have an opportunity to give us a 1-minute closing statement to tell us about any thoughts you have that you may want to leave us with today.
Yes, I love this city. I think it is good that we are building new things, but having lived in this historic old quadrangle, I feel a little sad that many of the old and historic houses in here are not well taken care of. I don't know if it is part of the recreation as well. I mean, even for my husband's birthday, for example, I took our guests for walking around the old historic houses here and introduced, oh, this one used to be owned by this one is a Queen Anne for example, a house, and it has the witch's tower, and then the other next to it or in front of it would be the house of the former senator of California. It's really exciting. And there are also houses for the first doctor in Santa Clara City, for example. I'd like that to happen more.
Thank you very much, Elisa. So we're going to be making a decision after our very next interview, so you're welcome to stay on Zoom with us. Or if you're not able to stay, then our city clerk's office will contact you tomorrow with the results. But thank you very much for your interview.
Thank you.
Okay, Mayor and Council, our last applicant, Brittany Ricketts, is on the panelist side.
Okay, Brittany, I see you.
Hello.
Hi, welcome. So thank you for applying for the Parks and Recreation Commission. We're going to give you up to 3 minutes so you can tell us about yourself and thoughts you have and why you applied for the commission. And whenever you're ready, you can get started.
Perfect. Thank you, Mayor. So I am a local family law attorney, and I'm also a double Bronco. Go Broncos. Even though I resided in San Jose, I like to say that I grew up in Santa Clara. I went to St. Clair School, then presentation, but that's in San Jose, and then came back to Santa Clara for college and law school. And also very exciting, I am a new homeowner in Santa Clara, right on Winchester, across from the cemetery. So I'm glad to know that my neighbors are very quiet. They never give me any fuss. Love it. But yeah, I applied because I'm very passionate about giving back to the city that I love, that I grew up in. I'm passionate about building community, creating relationships with our neighbors. I mean, after this pandemic where we had to stay in our houses, right? I know I'm very social, and so I'm craving that opportunity to, rebuild our connection, build our community, and, build those relationships with our neighbors. Yeah, and again, I'm very passionate about giving back and learning. I really would love to get involved and learn. So whether it be a position on this commission or just a volunteer, I am very excited for this opportunity. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Brittany, for applying. So we have some questions for you, and I'm sure that you received them ahead of time. And you're all ready for them. So we're going to get started with your questions. Go ahead.
Thank you for applying, Brittany. Have you attended or helped out in any of the citywide events that were held before the shelter-in-place orders? Which one and what did you do?
Yeah, so I feel like my answers are going to be similar to my other candidates or the other candidates. But yes, I love the Art and Wine Festivals, both as a patron and as a vendor. So I also work at the local country music radio station. So we've sold some of our merchandise there. So it's really interesting to be on that end. And then also as a patron sipping wine and art, I love it. And also my godson loves the gymnastics classes and art classes and all of that. But mainly for now, it's been the art and wine.
Thank you. So, Brittany, what Parks and Recreation programs have you participated in and in what capacity? And which program would you like to expand?
Yeah, definitely. So, Art and Wine, like I said, the 4th of July, fireworks. I mean, I am a big outdoor events type gal. So, along those same lines, I would love to do more outdoor events. I know we have our movie nights, but also what could be cool is like an outdoor open mic night with local artists. And I mean, I'm a musician, love playing guitar, not very good, so I don't know if I'd go up there on stage, but an opportunity for us to a talent show, I don't know, to showcase our talents. And yeah, it could be cool to go to different parks. Yeah, that's what I'll say.
Thank you. Councilmember Chahal, you are muted.
Sorry about that, Mayor. Yeah, thank you for applying, Brittany. My question is, do you have any thoughts about community gardens in the city?
Yes, Love them. Very excited for them. When I was at Santa Clara, I was really involved with our Forge Garden, which was like our school community garden. And I think that is a really great opportunity for education, right? Not only learning like, oh, here's a garden, here's, how you can plant plants or food, but really about also sustainability, food scarcity, where our food comes from, right? We're all connected. So I really feel like that's going to be a big opportunity for learning, events, and yeah, bringing the community together.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for applying, Brittany. This is Kathy Watanabe, and this is your last question. Do you believe Santa Clara needs more parks and open space? And overall, how well do you think Santa Clara does in implementing parks?
Yeah, thank you. I think Santa Clara, we've done an excellent job, right? Especially growing up here. I can remember being a student at St. Clair and running over to, our library or Henry Schmidt, or just having that opportunity to continue to be outside in the city. Loving all those playgrounds. And it's really interesting now being a homeowner and now bringing my young godson to the places where I got to visit growing up. So I think we've done an excellent job, and I definitely think that there's an opportunity for new ideas and new events and expanding on that.
Okay, thank you so much, Brittany. So now you have an opportunity to give us a 1-minute closing statement on any additional information you'd like to leave us with this evening.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor, and thank you, City Council, for, first of all, this opportunity to be involved. Like I was saying in my opening, if it's not this position, I definitely want to volunteer and be involved. I'm very passionate about the city, about, event planning and bringing people together. Ultimately, that's at the end, is building our community. So any opportunity to do that is going to be really amazing. So thank you so much for your time and this opportunity.
Okay, so if you just stay with us for a little bit, we are going to be voting now for 2 members of the Parks and Recreation Commission, 2-member appointments. So thank you again, Brittany. So Assistant City Clerk?
So you have interviewed 5 applicants, and per our guidelines, and this position, or you're appointing for 2 positions. So if we'd like to move forward with casting a vote for 2 of your top desired applicant.
So first of all, I want to say we had excellent applicants here. This is going to be really even harder than the last one because everyone here is just, exceptional and willing to serve, and we wish we had 5 openings this evening. We have 2 openings for full term openings, which means a 4-year term, and then the member would be eligible for a second 4-year term.
Correct.
So it's our top 2 now that we're going to be voting for.
Yes.
And then we can talk about eligibility after that, depending on how our votes pan out here. So
we'll begin with Councilmember Becker.
Sure. Okay. First choice will be Brittany Ricketts, and my second choice will be Maureen.
Councilmember Hardy.
Okay. First choice would be Maureen, and then Eliza.
Vice Mayor Jane.
Maureen and Brittany.
my first choice is Maureen Riley Chu, and second is Brittany Ricketts.
Councilmember Shahal.
First choice is Maureen Riley Chu, and second choice is Brittany Ricketts.
Thank you. Councilmember Park.
I will pick Elisa and Maureen.
Thank you. Councilmember Watanabe.
Thank you. First choice is Maureen, second choice is Brittany.
So there we have it.
Okay, so
Brittany received 6 votes and Maureen received 7. And so they would both.
That was, I'm sorry, 6 votes for
Brittany.
For Brittany and 6 votes for Maureen.
For Maureen.
All right. Could I please have a motion to appoint Maureen Riley Chu and Brittany Ricketts for the 2 openings on the Parks and Recreation Commission?
All motion.
Second.
Second.
So we have a motion by Councilmember Becker, second by Councilmember Watanabe. So give you time to put that in, City Clerk. Like I said, there was a lot of exceptional applicants this evening, so please register your vote, and then you can do the oral votes on the two that aren't.
Councilmember Shahal
Yes.
and Councilmember Park.
Yes.
And that passes unanimously. Congratulations to Maureen, who's here in the audience here, and Brittany as well, so congratulations. All right, so we have our remaining applicants. We had a couple that did receive votes. Assistant City Clerk, could you?
Elisa Murison received 1 vote.
Two.
Oh, sorry.
Lisa, was that Elisa?
Elisa.
Received 2 votes?
I would like to make a motion to put Elisa on the 6-month eligibility list if we have an opening within 6 months.
Is there a second? Okay, we have a motion by Councilmember Hardy, second by Councilmember Watanabe.
And I have my hand up.
All right.
I'm just going to repeat my desire to open it up to more candidates and go through another interview process.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second. Assistant City Clerk, when you're ready. Please register your vote, those of us that are here.
Councilmember Shahal,
Yes.
Councilmember Park.
Yes. And I did have a comment.
Well, I didn't see it, so go ahead. Well, yeah, go ahead before we take the final vote.
But I just wanted to point out that you can put people on an eligibility list and still hold open interviews by making it such that the people who are on the eligibility list do not have to apply again. They don't have to go to interviews again unless they want to. And I thought that was one of the things that we discussed last time. It's just informational. Thank you.
No, that wouldn't be it. If they're on the eligibility list, like Elisa, if a position comes forward and she is willing to take that position, she's automatically going to take that position.
Understood. I was
Okay.
trying to explain how you could put people on an eligibility list, and that would still be an advantage if you held open interviews.
No, there is no open interviews. If there is an eligibility list and we have 1 person on it, that person's automatically appointed if they want to take it. If they don't want to take it, then we have open interviews.
No, understood.
Okay, that's not what you're saying though, so I just want to make it clear that that's, with 1 person on an eligibility list, that's what happens. Okay, Assistant City Clerk, roll call vote, and that passes 5 with 2 noes. Congratulations to Elisa. So Elisa, what that means is that if there is a vacancy in the next 6 months on the Parks and Recreation Commission, then you would be appointed to that vacancy. So thank you very much for everyone that applied. Congratulations. Maureen, you're here. Would you like to say something? How you're going to get to work this evening, right?
Yes, I'll start right now. Thank you very much for this honor and opportunity, and I hope to do my best.
Thank you. You will do your best, I'm sure. And do we have Brittany on the line still? Or is she off?
Looks like she's dropped off.
She's dropped off. Congratulations, Brittany, as well. And everyone that applied, we really appreciate it. And if you weren't selected tonight, please, we're going to have openings on other commissions as well. So please stay with us and stay involved. We really appreciate the time that you took to apply and all of your interviews this evening. Okay, next on the agenda, we have reports of members and special committees. Do we have any reports? Which leads us to our adjournment. May I please have a motion to adjourn?
I had some reports to make.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, thank you, Mayor. So last night, I actually attended my first concert ever, a real concert, which was the Coldplay concert at Levi's Stadium. I did purchase my ticket, and it was also at the same time an operations tour of the stadium during concerts. I was provided, I'd say, a very exceptional tour from security, showing me the operations and security in the tower, as well as the wind tracking, which is a major consideration because it is a concert, not a football game. Football games, I guess you can really not care about the wind. I guess you kind of want the wind so the other team misses a field goal. But in this situation, that they have to track the wind because they're worried about if any of the equipment might be in jeopardy. So if the wind goes above, I think they said it was 40 or 50 miles per hour wind gusts, then they have to really take consideration for pushing the crowd back. Fortunately, last night we had none of that situation. I know that there has been some minor reports about sound concerns and people hearing it from Santa Clara University, which I kind of concerned and wonder about that one, as well as over at Don Calajon. And I hope that we can have some information from those noise monitors to see how loud it got, just to follow up on that. I got to say that there was some stellar work done by our police department, and all law enforcement, mainly because, there was a very, very heavy police presence last night. And I say that also because I think with a lot will happen in Buffalo and a lot of recent incidences that have taken place across this country, I am very glad and very comfortable that we had that presence. I know that I did do tours at the very beginning of before I went to the stadium, which was looking at neighborhood concerns, looking at roads being closed and basically coned off. I know my partner was turned away when he was dropping me off on Lafayette. He was turned away from making a U-turn on a street. They said that he has to go the opposite direction. And that's kind of contrary to a lot of social media posts that I saw that were describing that there was concerns about people parking in their neighborhoods and people that were not being turned away. So if anybody does have that information, I would really please provide photos and proof of these incidences because it helps us make our job better. But from what I know is our police did a stellar job by turning away people trying to get into the neighborhoods. I also took a tour of the neighborhoods after the concert. But other than that, let's see. As I said, I asked neighbors to provide any of the photo or any of those proof of things that happen in their neighborhoods because that will go with their concerns. And again, that helps us make our job a lot better. One little concern I did have was about the Tasman Bridge walkway. I know a lot of people start using this little area that you walk down on the bridge. It's like a little hill. And I think it's a little dangerous for people. So I think that's something that we should be looking into because I know that I can handle it. But, during football games, there might be some drunk fans that might not take that hill as well. The concert itself, I think, was an incredible event. There was a very great crowd. There was 50,000 people that showed up. This whole entire concert was eco-friendly. And I really kind of encourage that for a lot of our concerts. There was generators that I think that was being used by Cooking Oil, that if they needed to use their generators, they'd be run by those. They had an energy center, which is dance on the kinetic floors, where you can make some energy by dancing. Your moves create energy to help the power of the show, as well as ride. You get to ride some bikes to charge the show's batteries. As I said, Coldplay is very eco-friendly, and so they provided a lot of that influence in their production. The light show was incredible. If you ever see any video online, I know I posted some shots on Twitter. Very incredible light show. They provide you with these little wristbands when you first get in. They're eco-friendly wristbands that are recycled, and they light up as the show goes. And after you're done, you turn the wristbands in at the very end of the show, which was incredible. The other thing that was very fortunate at the same time was it was coincidental that it was at the same time as the lunar eclipse. So they're tours known as the Music of Spheres, which advertise a lot about planets and, solar systems. Well, I find it kind of great that, the same night we were having an eclipse, a lunar eclipse, and you can actually see them televising on their screen some of the shots of the actual eclipse. So I kind of consider it a little apropos that we had this at the same time. Other than that, there was a lot of residents, I think, out in the streets, from what I've read on some of the social media too, that were out in the streets looking at the lunar eclipse, as well as listening to our concert, and a little excited that we're actually having things back in our neighborhoods again, especially in our city. The concert did end at 10:47 p.m. And as I said, I did make my rounds after the concert, and I have to say that our police continue to do a stellar job, and all of our law enforcement. And it was, I think, a very safe and productive event, and I am looking forward to any information that anybody might have some more concerns. But other than that, that was my report, attending one of our first concerts here in Santa Clara in 1,002 days.
Thank you. Councilmember Watanabe.
Thank you, Mayor. Just to tag on to what Councilmember Becker just said, I actually have a totally different, I guess I was not at the concert. However, the response and the input that I've received from the residents is quite contrary to what you've said. And there were not minor reports. I have major reports. There was a lot of concern about the noise last night. There was a lot of concern about the fact that the concert was after 10 o'clock because people understood that it was a weekday event that should have ended at 10 o'clock, and they didn't understand. I would imagine there was concern with the wind and fireworks. A lot of people were also concerned that the fireworks were going off as much as they did, as late as they did. When this consideration was done last November, there was a pilot program proposed, and I have to say that it seems like it would have made a lot more sense to do a pilot program. For not having had an event at the stadium for the last 2 years, and I must say, there was no music ban, as was posted in several places. COVID and the County Board of Health had a big part in how events were handled and taking place. So to have done an event after 2 years on a Sunday night, which was a weeknight, when children are still in school and people are getting up early to go to work, was a very bad decision. And as I said, I have a lot of complaints. I was up until 2 o'clock in the morning responding to a lot of them and trying to encourage people to send emails to mayor and council to talk about their concerns. And from what I've seen before we came into the meeting this evening, we have received several complaints. And some people have also expressed coming to the meeting and next week and sharing their concerns in person as well. Thank you.
Okay, I have a motion to adjourn. Can we adjourn now? Was there a motion and a second? No.
No.
Okay.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion by Vice Mayor Jane, second by Councilmember Hardy. Please register your vote. Oral votes.
Councilmember Shahal
Yes.
and Councilmember Park.
Yes.
And that passes unanimously. Thank you very much. This meeting is adjourned.